Imagine getting a phone call from a client who says, "You just cost me $1 million and it's all your fault." Your stomach might drop, your heart might just thud right out of your chest. Like it's a bad time. I don't have to imagine it because it happened. And I want to share the story of what happened, how I handled it, and some of the powerful persuasion lessons you can learn from it so that if you're ever in that situation and if you are in business, you are going to face very tough situations that are difficult to navigate, and it's incredibly easy to do it wrong. So I want to share my story with you to help you out if and when that happens to you. So let's get into it. Hello and welcome. This is the Persuasive Professional. I am your host, Jonathan Pritchard, dedicated to helping you be more persuasive in life and business through the power of better communication skills. So, there are a lot of moving pieces to this story. I want to go through it and then pick apart the lessons, like I just mentioned. So, here it is. I am a fractional chief marketing officer. Basically, my clients come to me to help spearhead new digital marketing efforts or even trade shows. Those are the two worlds that I'm most skilled at. So they come to me to build out teams, to build the strategy, and to make sure they go smoothly. So that's a bit of the context here because my client owns a multi-location business with like 88 locations, and weirdly he has set them up each as their own business. So like when he was building a new website, and that website has to pull from his available inventory and that kind of thing. So he was paying for the website from 88 checks from 88 different locations. Like that's not relevant to the story. It's just weird. So he he's launching this new website, and the company that we're working with says, "Okay, great. This is awesome. We're building on WordPress. Checks out. Fantastic." And that's going, and the website has launched, and like that was the part of the project, like, okay, we're done and moving on. All right. But he gets about 10,000 visits a month from his search rankings. His SEO is really good, and he gets about 10,000 folks per month going to the website. And it has been a month after we're done working together, and then he calls me saying, "You cost me $1 million." And that's a real tough spot to be in. Now, what did I do? I could have argued, but I said, "You know what? I'm on it. This is in incredibly frustrating for me. Like, I'm livid at this thing happening on my watch with my name behind it. So I'm just as upset as you are. Okay, I didn't lose $1 million over this, but I'm super mad. I'm going to go knock some heads for you and figure this out." Okay. So then I go to the company that built the website and go talk to the project manager and just light her up. "What is going on? What happened? Tell me." And she goes, "The launch went, we built it out, we handed it off to the plugin developers and they launched it." I was like, "Wait, fill me in on that last detail." Like, what? Turns out that the CEO got involved and said, "This website has to have this plugin because it's the only thing that connects to the inventory management process that we've got. It's the only plugin on planet Earth that will do this." So the company that built the website had to hand it off to the plugin developers because it's not just an iframe drop in simple embed like you could embed a YouTube video on a website. This was a direct pipeline into their servers and stuff. So this was a much more technical issue. So these plugin developers locked the company that I trust out of the website so that nobody else could mess with their precious code and the delicate nature of how it works. They're the people that launched the website, and the CEO had signed off on it, that I had no clue. I didn't get looped in on it, but it was the plugin folks that officially pushed the website live, and that was the official launch. Okay. So now I know the last folks to touch it were people I've never talked with, but it's my problem to deal with now. And I was I was at lunch with my dad thinking about all this stuff and doing the phone calls, and now I go to lunch with my dad and we're in line for barbecue, and I go, "No, it can't be this easy. It cannot be this simple." Okay. I write an email in line from my phone and say to the CEO, "I've been checking in on this. I think I've figured this out. Log in, click here, go there, and see if this box is checked. If so, then uncheck it. And then I'll talk to you in about an hour once I'm done with this." Lunch with my dad. I get an email back. It was checked. I've unchecked it. Looking forward to talking to you. Turns out, if you're familiar with WordPress, there's a single checkbox that says discourage crawlers from indexing this website. The plugin folks had forgotten to uncheck that before they made it live. So when they pushed the new website, it told Google, "Hey, forget about all of this. Take us off." And Google goes, "You got it, boss." And that's why it went from 10,000 visits a month down to fewer than 100. And you could see it. Like if you're using diagnostic tools, you could see that traffic cliff. And that was a huge lesson, right? And I walked the guy through the whole thing, and he realized that he had cut me out of a very important piece of that puzzle, and he wound up continuing to hire me at 10,000 bucks a month to make sure that stuff like that didn't happen again. Okay. So that's the story. What are some of the lessons? First and foremost is when somebody is accusing you of costing them $1 million, the first reaction you might have as a rational human being is, "No, I didn't. I did not." And now you're in a contest of wills, and now you're arguing with that person who is upset, understandably, that they've lost a lot of money and they think you're the person responsible for it. So, what do? It's incredibly difficult to remember this when you're in the heat of the moment, but there's a powerful yes and situation where you go, "Yes, this situation is awful, and I'm even more mad about this than you are. Those those goobers are gonna hear from me. I'm gonna go knock some heads for you." So now you aren't saying it wasn't me and you're wrong. It's more, "You know what? I'm pissed off with you, not at you. I'm pissed off with you, and I'm livid that you're going through this. So now it's team us, not me versus you who've got this wrong." So from Aikido and martial arts, it's kind of like you step in and join their momentum, and then you can turn their direction. Whereas if you combat them and come straight at them and you're butting heads, now there's a clash of momentum and both people are going to get hurt. Whereas if you can join them and be on their side, you've just taken their center, and now you can redirect the conversation into a more productive direction, which is I'm going to go figure out who messed this up. Right. So then, as I'm coming in and raining unholy terror on the company that designed the website, I wasn't accepting, well, I'll get back to you. Like, nope, we're talking about this right now. And being able to go through that chain of accountability and then finding out that the wrong people were in charge of doing the wrong thing. Those plugin people had no business launching the website, but when they told the CEO that it was good to go, I was out of the loop. I wasn't there to be able to do the thing because the CEO said, I've got it from here against my recommendation that he does not cut me out yet. Like, listen, there's still work to do. And he's like, no, you've done a great job. I got it from here. It's like, you don't got it from here. So there was a big part of I told you so there too, but you don't, that's not the time to say, I told you so. Another lesson is know what you're talking about. If you are going to be a consultant, you better know your details. I got my start in the late 90s when I was in high school. I would handwrite HTML in a program called Notepad, which is a basic text editor, and then save the raw HTML as a .html file, and then open it in Netscape. And if you've never heard of that, you're not old enough. Open it in Netscape to see what it looks like. That's how I got my start building websites. And I've been using WordPress for basically as long as it has existed. So that's why being able to see the traffic drop off and know that they're using WordPress, I know my stuff and thought, did somebody check that discourage website like crawlers from indexing the website? Like that's a standard operating procedure for web development, but there's no way that somebody launched the website without unchecking that, right? So without having to go learn about WordPress, I already knew exactly where to tell the CEO where to go look for that. And then he was able to verify, yeah, that was the situation. So those are kind of the two biggest lessons. You better know your stuff if you are selling yourself as a consultant for a particular environment. And second, when things go wrong, not if, but when things go wrong, do not pass the buck. Step in, yes, and amplify their emotional state almost to the point where they're like, "Hey, well, there's no need to go that far with it. Like we're not going to burn down their house about it, right? Just don't do that, but amplify and yes, and their emotional state to show them that you're on their team and that we are in this together. And that helps them feel heard and you understand everything that they're going through. That is how you diffuse the potential blow up that's gonna happen if you start with it wasn't me, it's not my responsibility, I'm not the person who did this, and that's not productive because right now you are. They think you are, which is just as good as being the person responsible. So that's how, in the moment, nearly impossible to remember to do unless you practice it. So if you would like practice and to develop those skills, come join the email list, sign up at persuasiveprofessional.com, become a part of the group, and I would love to share all this stuff with you. And in the meantime, check out this video next.